Make sure you got the mic on. Looks like we are live on Facebook. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, live on YouTube as well. Definitely a tennis day. Welcome to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 286. Today is Friday, November 16th. Very great day out here in California. Finally getting some sun. Sorry to everybody out there with the snow. Saw a lot of people slipping and sliding on the roads. I can't relate. Been through it before. I'm all good on snow now. Definitely glad that it's a little sunshine out here. Still a little brisk though. But yeah, waiting on people to come on in to the show. Definitely a great show yesterday. A lot of fun things happening today, man. On Twitter and regular mainstream news, a lot of stuff jumping in right now as far as news in the crypto world. Great to see, in my opinion, because journalism is sort of going away. People aren't, writing any stories anymore. So the crypto people themselves are becoming the stories. Hey, John Sieber, greetings. Captain James, what's going on? The Tron Dex. Hey, we'll look at it in a little bit. Yeah, down the road, I'm definitely looking more at Tron. But yeah, shout out to everybody that's joining on Facebook. Let's go ahead and jump right in to our first story. Start off with some good news. Pantera Capital CEO. In a decade, billions of people will be using Bitcoin. Definitely a good quote there from Pantera Capital. Dan Moorhead, he actually describes Bitcoin as a serial killer, somebody that will actually, make sure it gets rid of everything in its way, basically to become number one. According to Moorhead, it will disrupt dozens of sectors with the cryptocurrency, already having demonstrated the capacity to potentially turn the tables on some subsectors in the financial industry. So when we talk about cross-border payments, when we talk about micro payments, when we talk about rewards for different games, things in those different industries, cryptocurrency looks like it's taking over. Good news to hear from Pantera Capital CEO, simply because they are very big company, have done a lot in the space as far as investment, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. His biggest indicator of Bitcoin staying power is the high number of individuals using it. Has now increased more than tenfold. He said 6 or 8 years ago, probably 1 million people on Earth using it. Now there are 50 million people. Actually, I think it was way less than 1 million people. If you traded as much as a lot of people did, the actual people doing actual trading, and the number of wallets, we're probably talking about less than 100,000, really. So 50 million now. I'd say probably more closer to 5. So to say, it's just a lot of people have wallets. A lot of people have used it once, but actively using it, definitely. That's the number they came up with. And he says in a decade, he thinks billions of people are going to use it. And I think the rapid growth of crypto happens when mainstream can adopt it as payments, which will be far down the road. We'll see more of it. But if it's just a trusted store of value, I mean, that's trillions of dollars right there, just in the gold that you would collect. So good to see there from Pantera Capital CEO. Definitely has his head towards the future. So, yep, people coming in on Facebook. Let's see who else. SJ Smith, what's going on, brother? Kevin Hodges. Captain James, Cornelius Broadna, y'all back in YouTube's good graces. Yeah, I guess a few people yesterday and the day before didn't get notifications. We've been seeing it off and on. So, I don't know what's going on with that algorithm, but they may be trying to mess the player up right now. Let's see. Wait until back starts their marketing campaign. Yeah, somebody actually stated it. I believe yesterday. They were talking about how the futures contracts affects the price because they don't have to settle it in cash. I believe it was Crypto Blood. They don't have to settle it in Bitcoin. They settle it in cash. So they actually, end up selling it at some point. Bakkt is actually going to settle all of their payments in Bitcoin. So they have to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin to be able to cover whatever orders people have. So good to see, people know about Bakkt. I believe December 12th is when decision on Bakkt will come out. So we'll see until then. But right now, markets are definitely bloody. And when you have CEOs saying that they still believe in Bitcoin because of long term, I keep telling people the reason they think like this is that's how they built their first business in the first place. They thought about 10, 20 years from now, where do we want to be? I'm sure Jeff Bezos started out selling books. I'm sure he didn't think to himself, well, I'm going to be selling books forever. He had to expand on it. And now, he has his business as well as other ones. So let's see. Cool Works, what's going on? Coming in from the ATL. What's going on, man? All right. So moving on. The big news for the day in landmark U.S. case, mastermind behind 2 fraudulent ICOs pleads guilty. Oh, man. So get the games rolling. This is the first time in U.S. history that not that they haven't shut down scams, but He pled guilty to fraud in a federal district court in Brooklyn, New York, of course, because New York doesn't play that at all. He's the mastermind behind 2 ICOs for tokenized real estate and diamonds, which, it's kind of one of those things where if you try and tokenize everything, you end up tokenizing nothing, which is what's happening now. Nobody's really using these applications because people are trying to tokenize everything from what was it? We saw time travel yesterday to shipwreck gold to diamonds. This guy here, Maxim Zaslavsky, is now facing more than 3 years in prison for conspiracy to commit securities fraud. And he admitted that he lied, backpedaled on previous claims that they were backed by real estate and diamonds. I mean, people, if they don't have the real estate deeds and they don't have the paperwork from the SEC, I mean, come on, it's about as obvious as it gets. It is funny to read about in hindsight because, we were one of the only channels that were telling people not to buy in a lot of these ICOs. Some of these other channels or a lot of other people were encouraging, just buy out every ICO. They all going to go times 10. Then you have stuff like this happen where somebody gets charged and now you have this whole struggle. So the SEC, they saw through the scam. They brought charges against these 2 companies in September 2017. So RE Coin and Diamond Reserve Club. Yep, time for you all to get the smackdown. Sorry for that, but somebody had to get it, and it sucks because he actually, admitted that he did wrong. Some of these other companies, they just pay the fine and then they move forward. Like, yeah, we're not gonna deal with it. So, those 2 companies, those are 2 of the companies that got hit with federal charges. Another one, if you remember, Paragon Coin, they settled with the ICO with the SEC for ICO violations, so they have to pay back investors. They raised $12 million, which to me is mind blowing how they got that money. However, if you remember Paragon, it was a woman CEO, and they had The Game who was actually promoting it. The rapper. So if as far as how ICOs work, if they have a celebrity endorsing it, it's probably not good, because if your product's good, you don't need a celebrity endorsement. I mean, that's almost everybody's thing in business is if I have to make a commercial for it, it might not be that good. Lamborghinis don't need commercials. So one of the best things about this is that they actually got Paragon. I mean, in my opinion, they should let it fly. If people are willing to give them money, let it go. And then everybody after the regulations, you doing it. But they're kind of backpedaling with the regulations right now, which is weird. But they face $250,000 penalty, and they must compensate the investors. Whew. So they got to give back everything they raised. The CEO, Jessica Versteeg, did not comment on the settlement. However, it is well known the money was created from the ICO. And we all know, as far as ICOs goes, the process is pretty good. But the people, it's always the people that mess it up, man. It's not really the process of ICOs or, registering with the SEC. It's people. People get greedy. People think they can, market their way to the top. I mean, what was it used for? Cannabis? I mean, how many cannabis coins are there? So just one of those things to look out for. But a lot of companies getting taken down by the SEC. It's a new day. They basically said, hey, enough is enough. Y'all raising millions of dollars and you haven't produced anything in a year, because it's been a year since the huge ICO or, altcoin craze. So you haven't produced anything. We've seen through the scams. People are a lot smarter now, in my opinion. Even people who are pretty new, they have all the information in front of them. They're not learning as they go, like most people I know who have been in it at least, 2 or 3 years. So good to see there. And guys got caught up, but you'll be all right. You'll get through it. 3 years isn't that bad. Ask Charlie Shrim. And if you got to do it, hey, you got to do it. So Paragon coin as well. Yeah, that coin was doomed from the beginning. I hope all of our warriors listen to us when we talked about Paragon coin. But next story, Binance becomes the latest exchange to list the Goldman Sachs-backed USDC stablecoin. Looks like every exchange is conforming to the USD stablecoin. It honestly is not surprising. You shouldn't be surprised. The USDC pair with Bitcoin as well as Binance will commence on November 17th. It's supposedly pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. We've discussed the value of US dollar losing 99% over the last 70 years. We've discussed how the USDC could fail because we've seen it happen with Tether, with prices and all of that. So we'll just see how it works long term. But Goldman Sachs has enough cash to back it. I think 1-to-1. I don't think they'll have any problems with people taking out too much money, because Goldman Sachs they basically print it and receive it from the Federal Reserve. So it should work out for Binance. However, to me, this basically makes it a harder process for one, add an extra step. Plus, puts Binance in the same ring as the other centralized exchanges. It looks like they don't have a choice, honestly. I mean, if anybody else, out there commenting. If you think Binance or some of these other places have a choice, you are sadly mistaken, because USDC has been basically forced on people, so they have to use it. So let's see. P-Man Van, yep, still solo today. Yep. Unfortunately, yeah, that's all good. Definitely got to still get that news out to you. Evan, what's going on, man? Captain James, yep, check that GitHub before you invest. Absolutely. And if you're not a coder, read Medium posts on it. A lot of the Medium posts from, established developers are just as good as reading it yourself, because most of them, they're not paid. I would pretty much say 99% of them, they're not paid. They don't get paid to do it. They're rich enough because of what they do regularly. They just do it for the community. So if you're not a coder and you don't understand it, read some Medium posts on it, see the activity. You don't even have to know what the code is saying. Sometimes you look at the activity and say, hey, nobody's updated anything for 3 months. This project isn't going anywhere. So yeah, definitely check that out. Captain James. John Siebert, that's like the dude who lost 250 Bcash due to scam. Yeah, it's Wild West. Can't do nothing about it. It is gone. I'd rather have a regulated stablecoin than Tether. Yeah, and this is what we discussed as well, is that Tether pushing back against the people trying to investigate them and having an audit process, to me, is as decentralized a stablecoin as you can get, simply because we don't know, who's running it, who's behind it, where the money is coming from. However, from the trust side of things, do you believe they have $3 billion in reserves? If you do, go for it. If not, the USDC will be more stable for you. Because like I said, Goldman Sachs isn't running out of money. So if you have to have a stable coin, which it looks like these exchanges have to have it now, because to me, it's too convoluted of a process. You could just use fiat. But yeah, I think it'll be more stable, so to say, because of Goldman Sachs behind it. However, Tether hasn't really, let anybody down long term. Now, it has had its hiccups. Went down to 86 cents, wicked down to 79 cents before. But long term, people that have used it haven't had problems. But the process is you got to do KYC process. That can take 2 weeks to get it shipped from one place to the other. It's ridiculous. So let's see. Shannon Allen, what's going on, brother? Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. But yeah, it looks like the stable coins are not going away. If you've been watching us, we've seen it literally from the very first article where they said the phrase CBDC all the way up to now, where every exchange looks like they have to use it. So get ready to use some USDC, CBDC, all these abbreviations are killing me. You got a BCH, ABC, BCH, SV, USDC. This is getting annoying after a while. So, and you got to think about regulators, SEC, FINRA, FEC. Good gracious, how far can we go? But good to see from a trader standpoint that at least they have something, that I believe will be stable. But still, it's like, here we go again. More steps to make it harder for the retail trader. But moving on, speaking of centralized exchanges, our reservations about Coinbase. However, Brian Armstrong has become the latest crypto billionaire. The crypto market, it states here, is still lucrative for some, even despite the year-long bear market and recent crash. Owners and CEOs have made a profit despite the harsh conditions. And the latest is Brian Armstrong, a 35-year-old graduate of Rice University, who is the CEO of Coinbase, as we know, the largest crypto exchange in the U.S. So we are, of the opinion that if you have a cryptocurrency exchange and you have to go through them in order to get crypto, we have the same process as before. However, when you have a lot of uneducated people who need a easy UX, an easy way to buy and sell crypto, to onboard them into the crypto space, you need things like Coinbase. And he's earned his billion. I remember Coinbase's website. If anybody here, if you remember Coinbase's original website, it was terrible. Like 2012, that was the most garbage website. People used to look at it, all right, whatever, another exchange. They quickly, made it as efficient as possible. It happened overnight. That first, I believe, 2016, when it first started moving into the 500, 600, 700 level is when you start seeing a whole lot of activity. And in 2017 exploded. Absolute. So I'm sure his billion that he made off fees, he'll definitely be in the talks with Winklevoss and Charlie Shrem and some of these other people, big name people, Tim Draper, that'll be Bitcoin trillionaires in the future. However, right now he's sitting at $1 billion. So, even if you don't like how somebody does business, getting $1 billion is hard. It's almost like Pete Rose being a Hall of Famer. You may not like how he did it, but he was really good at what he did. So, shout outs to them from a business standpoint, becoming a billionaire, trying to get there myself. So, Definitely want to shout out before we get out of here, Bitmart. Definitely Bitmart today will be listing Cryptic Coin. If you collected Cryptic Coins from our show, if you collected them from the FCO, definitely a great way to get on there and trade, have a trading competition for over 555,555 Crypt. And this contest, you can buy Crypt with Visa, MasterCard, as well as other cryptos as well. So definitely good to see there today. Crypto coins moving very, very fast right now on a lot of different exchanges. Good to see there. Definitely a good privacy coin for people new to the space. So let's see. Dio Trice, how you doing? First time viewer, brought in from the Crypto Blood. Peace, bro. Got a new viewer. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, definitely keep tuning in. We're here every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. As you can see, we start, when we start, make sure our people get our news. But we have a very busy schedule, so glad to be here, and we'll definitely be on Crypto Blood Show hopefully next week. So we'll put that date out. Maybe not because the holidays coming up, but week after that, we'll definitely let you know. So let's see what announcements do we have. Brave browser, make sure you download the Brave browser. Support the Gentlemen of Crypto. Make sure you support Tour de Cryptos. You can still send money to them. And long term, as far as the crypto market, like I said, take a deep breath. It's all good, people. If you are accumulating Bitcoin for the long term, you are just fine. Stop panicking, stop worrying. I do kind of want to next week see if we have people that can send us videos of them talking to their family about crypto if they told them about it last year, because I like to see the responses. Some people are angry, some people are mad, some people are like, what happened to my money? I just want to see the responses, just because you can see who's really in the game and then who's kind of trying to get rich quick. So we'll do all that next week. Like I said, it's been the Gentleman of Crypto. Great talking to you all. You all have a good one. Cheers.